Hello, hello, and I love this one. This is so perfectly fall or autumn. I love it. Vintage blanket with sunflowers, and I've already been playing around with it. It is deceptively easy. Don't be intimidated by this. Let me give you a real close look. It is actually so much easier than it looks. Like colors I'm going with, I'm changing up one of the colors. So here I have saffron for my light gold, sort of a yellow, but just bear in mind, everything on camera looks more vibrant and bright than it is in real life. In real life, this is somewhere between a mustard and a yellow. You could almost call it a light mustard yellow. It doesn't look nearly this bright and sunshiny in real life. I will take photos, and the photos will be true to color. Okay, I'm going to be using this sort of milk chocolate brown. Again, it looks way brighter on camera. I'm going to show you guys a picture. I am also going to use rust for the dark gold, just because I really want that contrast. Here, their light gold and dark gold isn't too discernible. I want it to be discernible. I already practiced with it. It's going to look great. And then for the green, they have sort of a dark mustardy green. I went with, where are you at? The color is Olive Drab by Joanne Big Twist. So it's sort of a army green, if you will. And the green that they have is a really like kind of a mustardy yellow. It's not exactly olive drab, but I found olive drab to be close enough. Also, I found light sage to be a pretty good substitute. Light sage is Red Heart Super Saver, and there you go. It is called light sage. So I found this to be a pretty good substitute. So for the most part, this is our color scheme, except for, there we go. Very, very New England. Oh, I love. Let me get a photo of all these colors so that you can see what they actually look like. Okay, well, I tried, and it's just, I'm working in the middle of the night. I've got my living room light on. It's not going to cooperate. So let's just forget about it for now. Let's get right into the pattern. We're going to start with the brown. We're going to start with the brown. Also working in a continuous round, so we won't be joining. I am going to start off with a magic circle. The pattern suggests starting off with a chain 2 and then just work 6 single crochet into your first chain made. So we're going to work 6 single crochet, 2, I'll be right back. Since we are working in a continuous round, a stitch marker is probably going to be needed for you unless you can manage without one. I never could. Okay, we're working in back loops only for this portion of the flower. So going into the back loop of your starting single crochet, work 2 single crochet into every single crochet around. If you are going to use a stitch marker, you want to mark that first single crochet made. So just working in all of the back loops, we are doubling up our stitches from 6 to 12. So you want to work 2 single crochet into the back loop of every single crochet. Okay, let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Let's move the stitch marker. Now we're going to work some increases. So into the very first single crochet, work 2 all into the back loop. Again, we are working back loop for this entire portion. Now into the next stitch, we're going to work 1 single crochet, and the repeat is 2 single crochet into the next, which is an increase. So I will refer to this as an increase. So an increase, then into the next stitch over, a single crochet. Next stitch over gets an increase. Next stitch over is single crochet. That's the repeat. I will be right back. Okay, so you should end with 18 single crochet. Now we're going to move on to round 4, and we're going to work 2 single crochet into the first stitch. So we start off with an increase, and of course just count 1 and 2 and put your stitch marker in that first single crochet. Now we're going to work 1 single crochet into each of the next 2 stitches and work an increase after that. So the repeat will be 2 single crochet between all the increases. So now we work 1, next stitch over, 1, next stitch over, gets an increase. Okay, so it's single crochet, increase. I will be right back. You should have 24 single crochet when we get back around to the stitch marker. Okay, now at this point we are going to fasten off, but don't like slip stitch to even it out. It's okay if it looks uneven. Chain 1. Let's go ahead and cut. I like to leave a long tail for weaving in to really hide everything. We can remove this now. Now, come down here into your first single crochet front loop that is exposed. It's not going to be the easiest thing to get into, but it'll be the only time it's tricky. Okay, join your yarn. Make sure that you join with a long enough tail to weave everything in really good. There we go. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Next, front loop over, which is right here. Work a slip stitch. 1, 2, 3 chains. Next, front loop over. This is the repeat all the way around the entire spiral, including the outer edge. All front loops too, okay? Because we got to use the back loops for working our petals. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Front loop, slip stitch. 1, 2, 3. Front loop, slip stitch. 1, 2, 3. And you'll just eventually work your way all the way around to that outer edge. 1, 2, 3. Once you get out from the very center, it gets real easy because the stitches aren't quite so tight. 1, 2, 3. And there you go. You can see it just works right along. 1, 2, 3. There we go. And I'll show you the sample that I worked on. This is how it's going to wind up looking, and here is some of our leaves, and I'm going to show you my way of making the petals. This is how they want us to make the petals. This is how I'm making them. It's not a change of stitch count, it's just a change of the way we work the stitches. But here is what we are looking to make, and that's where you're going to end, okay? So keep working all the way around. I will be right back. There's the back of it. Okay, there we go. There is the center of our sunflower, and you can see we have all of our back loops here available to work in, and we're going to do that now. So join into any back loop your light gold or yellow, or as I'm using saffron, this is saffron from Red Heart Super Saver. There we go. And work 1 single crochet into every stitch around. You should have 24 single crochet, and I would just bury your tail in as you go. So make sure that you leave a nice long tail, that way it doesn't unweave, it doesn't unravel. But yes, working in all of the remaining back loops, 1 single crochet, total of 24 single crochet. So let's see, I think that is just a little old knot, so I'm going to skip over that little old knot and continue on. There we go. Okay, I will be right back. Let's go ahead and join the single crochet round. Now for this next round of petals, we will be working in front loop only again, but I'm going to go ahead and join through both loops. but we will be working in front loop only. Actually, that does kind of eat up my back loop, so I'm going to join in front loop. Sorry. Because we're going to be using our back loops for the darker petals, the petals that are behind. So I want to work a stacked single crochet instead of a chain 3 for a double crochet. So I will start with a chain 1, go into the same joining stitch, and work a single crochet. Now into this forward loop right here, work another single crochet. You just go in, pull up a loop, and there we go. And that's how we replace the chain 3 with a stacked single. Okay, now into the next 2 stitches we're going to work. So into the next stitch over, work 2 double crochet into the same stitch. I've got a little knot here. And into the 3rd stitch over, work 1 double crochet. Now let's work a stacked single again. There we go. And if you don't want to work the stacked single, then just chain 3. Now, into the next 2 stitches, we're going to work 2 double crochet into each of them. So a total of 4 double crochet between the 2. So the first one gets 2 double crochet, 1 and 2. Next one over, 2 double crochet, 1 and 2. And work 1 double crochet into the last stitch. There we go. Now let's work a stacked single to turn, or a chain 3. There we go. Now this is where the way I do it differs from the pattern. The pattern wants us to skip 1, work a cluster stitch in the next stitch over, then skip 2 stitches and work a single or double crochet on the end. But as you can see, that leaves quite the gap. You see? The way I'm going to do it is just a little more full. So to work a cluster, you're going to yarn over, skip the next stitch, and in the next stitch over, go into the stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through only 2 and stop. Yarn over, go into the same stitch, pull up a loop, again, pull through only 2 and stop. Now yarn over and go into the next double crochet over, pull up a loop, pull through 2. Now you have 4 on your loop, on your hook, sorry. Pull through all 4. Now we will skip the next stitch and into the last stitch, work your double crochet, and that just fills everything in just a little bit better. Okay, now let's chain 1 and turn. We're going to skip the first 2 single crochet, the first 2 double crochet, and into the last stitch, which is right here, work 1 single crochet, then chain 1. And that's it. That's all there is to making the petals. I know they don't look very long. They look longer in the picture than in real life, but it all works out in the end. Okay, so go into the very next front loop over, and we just simply repeat. I'm going to start with my stacked single. So chain 1 into the same front loop, work a single crochet, and then into this forward loop, work another single crochet. Next, next front loop over, we work 2 double crochet into the same stitch. 1 and 2. Next front loop over, we work just 1 double crochet. Then we work up to the next row, so you can work a chain 3 or a stacked single. And we're going to work 2 double crochet into the next stitch and 2 double crochet into the next one after that, creating 4 double crochet in the middle. 2, 3, and 4, and then 1 double crochet on the end. Of course, we are looking for 6 total double crochet. And again, we're going to work the cluster. Sorry, I'm working with a new fresh ball here, so it's playing tug of war with me pretty bad. So work our stacked single, skip the next stitch, and in the next one over and the next one over, we work our cluster over the next 2 double crochets. So here we go. 1, 2 into the same stitch, and then 1 into the next stitch over. Pull through all 4, skip the next stitch and into the last, work your double crochet, chain 1, turn, skip, skip, into the last double crochet, work a single plus chain 1, and that's it. And of course, I highly recommend weaving in all of your ends as you go. And since I weaved in, I buried this one along the way. This one's going to be easy to weave in because I'm just going to go back the opposite direction once. You really shouldn't need more than that. Pretty much locks it in when you kind of serpentine it like this. But here we go. And that's it. That one is buried. So I'm going to go ahead and weave in my ends real quick off camera. Now you want to do this until you have got 8 petals. So the next front loop only, start working your next petal. 1 double crochet into the first loop, 2 double crochet into the next one over, 1 double crochet after that, and just carry on from there. I will be right back whenever I have got a total of 8 petals in the light gold made. I'll show you how I weave mine in really quick. It's super easy. So this is the back of our work, and I want to keep the point, so I'm going to hold on to the point and then just grab a few stitches back here, come down, and I do this very carefully. I don't want to lose my point. So while I tug it, I hold on to my point so that I don't lose it. Then I'm just going to pick up those stitches. Of course, I'm going to start 1 stitch up, pick up those stitches on the way back up, and that's it. That's all the weaving in I do. And I still have my points. Okay. Okay, now there we go. Now let's work the back petals, and for that I'm going to be using rust. You see how good that's going to look, in my opinion anyway. Okay, so it wants us to turn the work around and work back this way. Now, since we are working in back and forth rows, the stitches won't look backwards. It's fine. So pick any middle stitch of behind any petal, and we're going to work our way just like we did before. 1 double crochet, 2 double crochet into the same stitch, and then 1 double crochet. And I'm going to go ahead and start with a stacked single. That's my first double crochet. Next stitch over gets 2 double crochet into the same stitch, just like we did before. And then the next stitch over gets 1. Work my stacked single. This is a little thinner, so I'm going to try to work my stitches a little fluffier if I can. So I'll really pull up on them, try to compensate. So that was 2 into each of the next 2, then 1 into the last. There we go. Turn, work my stacked single. Yarn over, skip the next stitch, and in the next one over, 1, and there we go, and 2, and in the next stitch over, just gets 1, pull through all 4, and then we skip the next stitch and into the last stitch, work 1 double crochet, chain 1, skip, skip, and into the last stitch, work 1 single crochet, chain 1, and cut. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and weave in my ends and continue all the way around. I really like the way the rust looks. It adds so much definition and contrast. I really like it. Here is the original. Do you see what I mean? I really wanted just a lot of definition. That's just my personal choice. You know, you go with whatever you want to do. Okay, I will be right back. Should have mentioned we're working the same number of contrasting petals. So we want 8. We want to work 8 of these as well, all the way around. So I will be right back. I want to point out that I'm starting my next petal by simply bending these ones forward instead of working in the back, just to see how easy it is. And I find it to actually be a bit easier to work into the stitches this way. So if you wanted to do this, yeah, I would totally go for it, because it's not going to make any difference. It's really not. It's just a matter of comfort. So I do find starting off like this to be a lot more comfortable. Just wanted to jump on to point that out. Okay, I will be right back. Okay, here we go. Now let's work the border of the individual square. So we're just gonna join into the top of any of our light gold petals and grab your sage green, your moss green, or whichever color you chose to go with. Even white would be really pretty, whichever you want to do. So let's go ahead and join. There we go. And of course, you want to make sure that the right side of the work is facing you. So now we're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, let's start with a single crochet. It doesn't say to, but we're going to work a single crochet in the next petal over, so we might as well start with a single crochet just for consistency. Now let's chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Next petal over is going to be our back petal, and right into the tip, work a single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yellow or golden petal over, light golden. Work a single crochet into the tip. So this is the repeat all the way around. We are meant to have 16 single crochet and 16 chain spaces. Okay, so come on back whenever you get back around to the beginning. Okay, let's go ahead and join with the slip stitch, and here we go. Join with a slip stitch. Okay, now we're going to slip stitch over into the first chain space. Okay, now it wants us to chain 3. Of course, I'm going to work a stacked single, but it wants us to chain 3 and then work 4 more double crochet into the same chain space for a total of 5. I'm going to work the stacked single. So I'm going to chain 1, work a single crochet, and work a single crochet. Now I'm going to work 4 more. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let's chain 3. We're creating a corner. 2, 3. Next chain space over, work 5 double crochet. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now, without chaining anything at all, into the next 2 chain spaces, work 6 single crochet with no chains in between anything. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. These are going to be our square edges. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now, without chaining, yarn over and immediately start working your next corner of 5 double crochet, chain 3, 5 double crochet, and then this will be the repeat. Everything that you see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Chain 3, and next chain space over gets 5 double crochet. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then you will, without chaining, immediately go into working your 6 single crochet each into each of the next chain spaces, then work your next corner all the way around. Come on back when you get back around to the beginning. I went ahead and joined, here I'll just undo it so you can see. Let's join with a slip stitch into the top of our starting either chain 3 or stack double. Now let's work another stack double into our joining stitch or a chain 3. And we're going to work 1 double crochet into every double crochet all the way around and a corner into every corner. And a corner is 3 double crochet, chain 3, 3 double crochet. There we go. And now we work a corner, 1, 2, and 3, chain 3, and 1, 2, and 3. Now don't forget, if you work in a corner, sometimes your last stitch will kind of bury the top of your first stitch. So if you pull it aside just a little bit, you will see your first stitch right there. So you don't want to miss out on that one. Okay, so this is the repeat all the way around. Just work a double crochet into every double, work a corner into every corner, meaning chain 3 doubles, chain 3, and 3 doubles. I will be back when we get back around to the beginning, and that's going to be the end for this square. Then we're going to work on these, and these are really fast and easy to make. So here is our finished square, and these are meant to measure 8 inches, and mine measures 8 inches. I mean, even over the hump of the flower there, it measures 8 inches, so that is right. So if you want to make these into a pillow, I would just keep adding rows on the outside. You know, like maybe you can do a round of open work. So what I mean by that is like your next round, I'm just going to chain 3 just for an example, and then 2 more. Then you would skip 2 and then like work a double, or even a chain 4 instead of chaining 5, and skip 1, work a double, chain 1, skip 1, work a double, and then your next row up can be a solid row. That way you give yourself a little bit of growth to the size like a 16-inch or a 12-inch pillow or a 10-inch pillow, whatever you need, and then you'll do the same with these whenever we sew these together, because this is also going to wind up being 8 inches. Just work a border like this around it, and then you have like a throw pillow size. But this here is all done, so let's go ahead and cut and give it a little inspection. Needs to be stretched out a little bit. Here is the back. Not bad, not bad at all. So let's go ahead and get started on the little ones. These are super easy. So let's go ahead and start on the little fellas. So just like we did at the very beginning, you're either going to chain 2 and work your 6 single crochet into your first chain, or you're going to work the magic circle like I did and work your 6 single crochet into the ring. So we are going to start this off exactly the way we started the last one. We're going to work the first 2 rounds exactly the same. Okay, that is 6 single crochet into the ring. Now, like we did before, into the back loop only of our first single crochet, work 2 single crochet. We're not chaining or slip stitching or anything like that. We're working in the continuous round. And there is my first single crochet there. Tighten everything up. And we're going to work 2 single crochet into every stitch around for a total of 12. And then that's it. Then you can cut, and we will start working the next section. That is our 12 single crochet all the way around. We can cut. Oh, let me chain 1 first. There we go. Now, just like we did before, We're going to join into our first single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, it would be this buried little nubby, wouldn't it? There we go. Okay, and we're going to start doing our chain 3 and slip stitch into the next front loop over. Okay, so let's chain 3 and slip stitch into the next loop over. Chain 3 and slip stitch into the next loop over. So repeat this just like we did before, all the way around. Get this one. These center ones are always really tight, but let's do the front loops all the way around to the very last single crochet. Then you can cut and weave in all of your ends and come on back. Okay, so grab your little center here and pull the ruffles forward and join into any back loop, basically the only loops that we have left to work into. And join with your light gold or whichever color that you chose for your top petals. And I'm going to start with my stacked single. You can start with a chain 3. It does say to start with a chain 3. And into the same chain or loop, we're going to work 2 more double crochet for a total of 3. Chain 3. Now into the yarn over and into the very next back loop over, work 3 more double crochet. 1, 2, and 3. Skip 1 loop and into the next loop over. So I'm going to skip this loop and into the next loop over, work 3 double crochet. 1, 2, and 3, chain 3, and into the next loop over, which I believe my next loop over is actually right down into this little valley here. So I'm going to work my 3 double crochet. That's a big gap. Oh well. 2 and 3. Skip the next back loop and into the next one over. Repeat 3 double crochet, chain 3, next back loop over, also 3 double crochet. Now we chain nothing, skip the next loop, and in the next one over, we repeat 3 double crochet, chain 3, next loop over, 3 double crochet. 1, 2, and 3. Join into the top of your starting either chain or stacked single. Now here it tells us to cut and add a new color, but let's just, for the sake of not having a knot right there, let's just slip stitch our way over to our corner space and go into your corner space, but hold back your yellow. Grab your green or whichever color you used for this border. So grab your green and complete this slip stitch with the green. It's just cleaner this way. You don't get an ugly little knot off to the side. Chain 1. Now we're going to work. Of course, I'm going to start with my stacked doubles, stacked singles. You can always do your chain 3. We're going to work 3 double crochet. Not 3 more, but 3 total. So your starting chain or whichever you used is your first. Chain 3. 3 double crochet. This is how every corner will be worked. Into the space between these 2 groups, work 3 double crochet. Now I am going off pattern at this point, because what the pattern actually asks us to do is work 1 double crochet and 1 long double crochet. So that would be pull through 1 loop, then yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, then move on to working our next corner. I worked 1 square like that, and I wasn't a big fan of how it looked. This is how it looks with the 3 double crochet. So it's your choice. You can do it the way that they ask, like this, or you can do it with the 3 double crochet like I'm going to show you. So there it is. Now I'm just going to do that and put the other 2 doubles. 2. I really don't understand why they would do that, what the point is, but that's okay. Now we're going to work our corner, and of course you'll notice we're not chaining between any of these groups, and we won't be. 2 and 3. Now we're going to chain 3. That's the only time we're going to chain, but that's for the sake of our corner. 1, 2, and 3, and then repeat. 3 double crochet, or you can follow what I told you was in the pattern, but 3 double crochet, corner, between these 2 groups, 3 double crochet, corner, 3 double crochet, and then join with a slip stitch at the top of your starting stitch. I will be right back. Okay, we're going to go ahead and join with a slip stitch. Oh, I prematurely cut my green. Oops, I bet I can still make it work. Let's slip stitch over into our chain 3 space. Yes, I made it work. Okay, now we're going to add the it calls for off-white. I'm using the color Aran. And start our slip stitch by going into the chain 3 space, hold back your green, but attach your cream or off-white or whichever color you're going to use, and complete that slip stitch with the new color. Now we're going to basically do exactly what we did in the last round. So I'm going to start with my stacked single, and we're going to work 2 more double crochet with it. 1 and 2, chain 3, and 3 double crochet for the corner, 2 and 3. Now into each space work 3 double crochet, and into each corner work a corner just like this with your 3 doubles, chain 3 and 3 doubles. Okay, and we're not chaining 1 between any of the spaces other than right into the corner. 2 and 3. So I will be right back. Here we go. I'll show you this real quick. Then you're just going to jump over this cluster here and work 3 more double crochet. And then you're going to jump right into your corner and start working your corner. So I will be right back. Okay, now let's go ahead and join all of our squares. We're going to join them in the back this time. We're going to work the back loop of each square. That way in the front, we get this interesting little seam in the front. So what we're going to do is back loop of this chain and then back loop of this chain. So we want the right side touching each other like this. Grab your off-white yarn. And I'm going to go ahead and join with a single crochet. So I will chain 1, go back into those same stitches, work my first single, and into every loop, back loop here, and then the back loop here. Except for whenever you're looking at it, it's going to look more like the front loop. So you want the loop closest to you here, and then the loop furthest from you here. Okay, so just work this all the way to the end. Do your best to match stitch for stitch. And I will be right back when I get to the end of these. Okay, so now my last stitch on these squares is going to be the chain. So this chain and this chain. Work single crochet. I've got this next chain over and this next chain over. There we go. Work single crochet. Now grab these squares here, and we have 3 chains. I'm going to start with the middle chain and the middle chain. Did I split that? Probably. There we go. And just carry on, doing your best to match stitch for stitch. So our next stitch is going to be a chain and a chain. Here we go. Now into the actual stitches. I missed that one chain completely. Did you see that? You probably did. So this chain and this chain. There we go. Missed that chain completely. Okay. I'm just going to keep going all the way. I'll be right back. Okay. Now we have, see, here's what the seam will look like that. Now we have to do the exact same thing with this side, and whenever you get to the crossroads here, just work over the top of it. That's fine. So instead of starting in the middle when we're working the edges, I like to start right here. It just gives me a little bit of wiggle room whenever working edges. I don't know why. You could really start this in the middle if you want to. It doesn't really make that much of a difference. Maybe I'm just weird, but okay. Chain 1 and single crochet back into the same chains. This one and boy, it's hard for me to see. It's hard for me to see it sometimes. There we go. And here we go. So I'll be right back. I'm going to work these all the way to the end, and like I said, when you get to the join, it's not anything that serious. Work these chains here, then just jump right over and work these chains as if this doesn't even exist, and move right along to the end. Okay, so here everything is, and of course you would sew these two together the exact same way we did all of these, and as you can see, here is how the cross section looks. But yeah. And so here is the diagram. Okay, so here are the final reveal shots. The sun is up now. It's cloudy morning sun though, so I'm not getting those bright, beautiful sun rays on this, but you get a better idea of what the color looks like. Oops, oh no, it all slid. It was sticking to the side of the pillow. So good. Stay. Stay. Oh well, okay, so they're gonna... Okay, but there they are, the final reveal shots. I like the colors a lot. Now you get a better idea of what the colors look like. So there they are. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.